Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. We are going to address what happens when you make a game people are actually interested in versus what happens when you don't. So, Valve, we talked about this before. Valve is putting out Deadlock, and they had that whole thing with the guy from The Verge who skipped the, quote, informal, end quote, NDA that said, don't show this to anybody, don't talk to anybody about it, don't stream it, and then, laid it out entirely across their website, which, if you ask me, is a violation of journalistic integrity. But we're talking games journalists, they're barely journalists, and they definitely very rarely have any integrity, so whatever. There is a tendency to say there is a hero shooter fatigue. And honestly, that's a huge thing you hear in general. If there is a genre that's putting out a lot of stuff and the quality of that stuff has fallen, you have a tendency to hear whatever genre fatigue. So right now, you have superhero fatigue. And I'm sure they're going to say Lord of the Rings fatigue right now or soon or something like that. Realistically, it's not fatigue. What it is people are tired of bad crap, derivative crap that's just being shoved out with the name on it, and so they don't watch it anymore. They're not tired of these things. They're tired of crap. Hero shooters have been for a while not really putting out anything new or particularly exciting. But for some reason, and because I haven't looked at any of the stuff yet, I can't say why, Deadlock is making people excited. Here in this article by Paul Tassi, he talks about how at the time before when The Verge leaked all that information about Deadlock, it had 20,000 players. That's 20,000 players before anybody was able to talk about it. And that is 20,000 players with an invite system for people to get in. Now, after they announced it, when people could start talking about it, and the invite system's still in place, but people are able to send out invites more widely because, we can talk about it. It's jumped to 89,203 top players. This is before it's even released. This is at a basic alpha stage when Valve has just said, hey, this exists and you can talk about it. Now, granted that's free and people just get to play it, but that's still 90,000 people willing to play this alpha version of a game and seeking an invite in order to get into it. That is a lot of people. And I did, just to be cheeky, pull up the Steam database on it. As of right now, 2 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time, because for whatever reason, that's when I have a tendency to record, there are 30,500 players playing. That's a lot of people. That's doing really well. Now, in comparison, the other hero shooter with a $40 price tag that is completely out, no alpha, nothing, 117. And their peak is still 697. Concord has proven, if nothing else, that if you're going to make a game, you need to make a good game. Now, I do hear a lot of people saying, well, it's got that $40 price tag. That's what's keeping people from getting it. My pushback on that is Helldivers 2. Yes, Helldivers 2 had a $40 price tag. It's a multiplayer game. Now, it's not a hero shooter, but it's still a multiplayer game with a season pass type setup. You can even buy war bonds and stuff if you want to, as opposed to earning them in game. And that, before all of its drama, was very popular, extremely popular, even with the $40 price tag. I think realistically, if Concord had had more of a interesting concept to go with it, if its characters hadn't been absolutely hideous, I genuinely believe that it would have succeeded. I don't think it would have seen the absolute crash and, well, maybe not succeeded. I think it would have done better. It wouldn't have seen the absolute crash and burn that it has seen. Now, since we are talking about Deadlock, I figure we better, take a look. What Valve has out for it is basically, they have little to nothing out here. There is a trailer, which we will watch. A little statement here that says Deadlock is a multiplayer game in early development. To be announced, it just says still in early development stages with lots of temporary art and experimental gameplay. Access to Deadlock is currently limited to friends invite via our playtesters. And that's it. that is everything. I will say the Steam curator lists are actually kind of interesting. Despite the fact the game's not out officially, with the curator lists, there are still some recommendations. You have ones like the shit listing service, which says it's not recommended. It's basically Paragon, Battleborn, but with an Overwatch aesthetic. Really depressing to see people beg them to update and fix Team Fortress 2, make Team Fortress 3 for like 10 years, just to cram out the soulless MOBA turd. Which is funny because I thought it was a hero shooter, but realistically, we don't know exactly how Valve is defining it. It could be a MOBA, it could be a hero shooter. We don't know. Well, I mean, we have a vague idea of how it plays, but we can't be entirely sure if that's how it'll end up. Apparently, it has native ultra-wide support with vertical field of view preserved for people that matters to. Valve's worst kept secret, the playtest everyone and their grandma are already playing. It's a hero shooter mixed with Dota-like MOBA defense, poised to challenge Overwatch 2, Smite, and the ill-fated Concord. I wouldn't call it challenging Concord because, well, Concord really isn't a challenge for anything else. You have stop games, engage in fast-paced tactical battles where timing and precision are key. Use cover, strategize your moves, and outsmart opponents in intense combat scenarios. Restricted access. Access to Deadlock is currently limited to our friends' invites sent exclusively by our playtesters. This is from Adult World Games. The group of completely average hipsters has said, Smite is the greatest MOBA of all times. This is Valve realizing they fucked up with Dota 2 by making it top-down. Ludo is fuck. Millions must play Deadlock. I don't know what that last part means, other than millions must play. I don't know what Ludo is fuck means. If someone wants to explain that to me down in the comments, please feel free. This guy says hype. I don't know what the source... Oh, it's the engine. There we go. So Source 2 engine. Funk's Grotto just recommends it. UW reviews in English. Surprisingly, Valve's gaming department is doing some kind of live service crap, just like any other major gaming studio. Not a Real Reviews says, can we finally talk about this? Great, because this game rocks. Valve cooked. Combines MOBA with hero shooters and that typical Valve polish you can expect. Now just gotta wait for HL3, right? Game Dude Reviews says better than Concord, maybe. Worth playing, probably not. MOBAs are for failed men to waste away on because they couldn't get a job, a life, or a wife. Be better. Play love is all around instead. That sounds kind of weird, but okay. And there's a whole bunch more in there. So this link will, of course, be in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Let's go ahead and check out the trailer. Now, for a trailer, there's not a lot going on, but the aesthetic surely is interesting. Those are interesting fellows. That's what we can see on Deadlock. If you know somebody who is currently playtesting, you can get yourself an invite and check it out for yourself. I do not know anybody, and as we all know, I'm not particularly fond of first-person shooters anyway, though maybe when it comes out someday, I'll give it a shot. We'll find out. All that said, what do you think? Do you think the hype for this is that people are just excited to play a new game that's got a little bit different going on? In a few of those things I read, we heard them combining a few different of these multiplayer shooters. So, I mean, it could be something interesting, could be something good, could seriously suck. We won't know for sure until it comes out or until you get to play it yourself. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.